watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Tanisha Awasthi. Ladies and gentlemen, India is preparing itself to strike at Pakistan. There are multiple meetings that the Prime Minister is holding. Earlier, remember in the day, it was Prime Minister Modi who was meeting the Defence Secretary, and now we learn that NSA Doval is meeting Prime Minister. We learn that the meeting has just concluded, and the breaking news that's coming in, a series of meetings that has been chaired by Prime Minister Modi. NSA Doval is there at the PMO. There are a series of key meetings that are being held at the PMO right now, back-to-back high-level meetings. That is, Prime Minister earlier in the day had met the Defence Secretary, who had briefed him about the security situation and also about the Pahalgam attack and the kind of preparedness that India is looking after. And now we learn that it is NSA Ajit Doval who is meeting the Prime Minister. In fact, just getting that breaking news coming in that the meeting has just concluded at the PMO. The meeting lasted for almost nearly 45 minutes. All right, Riyanka, my colleague, is joining me on the broadcast on that. Riyanka, what do we understand could be discussed in the meetings? It's extremely confidential on what the meeting could be about, but what are you picking up on the key agendas of the meeting, Riyanka?
See, at this point in time, as the government is preparing for a retaliation against Pakistan for the Dastardly terror attack in Kashmir's Pahalgam, the 22nd of April, and amid all the speculations of an important and a crucial retaliation this time against Pakistan, we see that there are several meetings, back-to-back meetings that are happening in the national capital, be it the meetings that had taken place in the past few days at the Prime Minister's residence, or meetings at the Ministry of Home Affairs, or the meetings at the Ministry of External Affairs. And now a crucial meeting that has just concluded between the Prime Minister and the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval at the Prime Minister's office in the National Capital South Block. The meeting lasted for nearly 45 minutes to 1 hour. Between that, crucial strategic moves very possibly could have been discussed, could have been the agenda. We do not have the official data and the inputs from what the meeting is about, because everything is under closed doors, and there is no possibility that we could reveal what is the meeting about. But very clearly, as we understand, that there is India is in fact preparing for a response against Pakistan, and meeting with the national security advisors, as well as several other meetings between the Prime Minister and of course the Defence Secretary this very morning. Another crucial meeting that happened between the Prime Minister and the Air Chief Marshal AP Singh yesterday, and of course other meetings that we have seen for the last few days between the Prime Minister and the three chiefs of the military services, gives us one message that our agenda is very clear, that India will not be keeping quiet, and a strong retaliation is being planned, a strategic move is being planned to put in place against Pakistan, as there is going to be zero tolerance towards terrorism.
Well, absolutely, Riyanka. Thank you very much for sharing those details. Meanwhile, remember, India has already said no to Pakistan as far as giving water to Pakistan is concerned. Just weeks back, in a huge diplomatic strike, India had said that they will keep the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance. Now, to mull further on the same, on what could be done, remember, we learned through our top-level sources that Amit Shah will be chairing a key meeting this weekend, and this will be on the Indus Water Treaty suspension. In the past as well, there have been many meetings that has been conducted. India has taken a very clear stand that no water will be supplied to the terror state Pakistan. Here's a report that has been filed by my colleague Gursimran.
Terror has a price. After 26 innocent lives were lost in the Pahalgam attack, India has pulled the lever on a strategic response. Water flow to Pakistan is now under tight control, and there is no scope for mediation whatsoever. At the towering Baglihar Dam in Ramban, gates have been shut, and the flow of the Chenab River has been reduced without any notice to Pakistan. With the Indus Water Treaty now in suspension, the Baglihar and Kishan Ganga dams have been turned into pressure valves.
We are at the Baglihar Dam at the Chenab River in Ramban district, and this is actually what has irked the Pakistan the most. The suspension of the Indus Water Treaty that was done by the Union government after the Cabinet Committee on Security, and right now we are at the Chenab River. This Baglihar project has now been regulated by the India as per its own will. That is what the suspension of Indus Water Treaty means to the India, because you see that what has happened, that India is now regulating on its own term. The India is opening the gates of the dam at their own will, like they did day before yesterday, and we saw that there was a flood-like situation in many villages of the Pakistan, because as this agreement goes into the abeyance, this means that India need not to inform Pakistan on the real-time basis about the flow of the water they are going to release, and there is no binding on the India to regulate water flow in the river Chenab.
In North Kashmir too, at the Kishanganga project, similar controls are being activated. Together, these projects give India the power to decide when and how much water crosses the border. Chenab and Jhelum are lifelines for Pakistan's agriculture. Any disruption in flow shakes its internal water network, and Islamabad knows it. The message from India is very clear: water and blood don't flow together.
Ladies and gentlemen, even after back-to-back strikes, diplomatic strikes on Pakistan, and after the world has unequivocally supported India, Pakistan has still resorted to its dirty tactics. Now, this time it is a Pakistani intruder who was nabbed on the intervening night of 3rd and 4th of May. The details that had just come into our newsroom. This Pakistani intruder is now being questioned by the Gurdaspur police. We learned that this Pakistani intruder was trying to invade into Indian territory, and in fact had already invaded by 250 meters. That is exactly when the Gurdaspur police apprehended him, nabbed him, and now the questioning is underway. Joining me for more details on that is Gursimran. Gursimran, what more details do we have as far as this Pakistani intruder is concerned? Now remember, this comes after a Pakistani ranger was taken into custody by the BSF on a Saturday.
Yes, the Border Security Force is maintaining a highest level of alertness on the borders, and it was on the intervening night of 3rd and 4th at around 11:10 in the evening when they saw a suspected movement, and when the movement was traced, it was a Pakistani individual identified as Hussain. He is from the Wadech area of the Gujranwala district of Pakistan, and he was trying to enter the Indian territory. He was carrying some cash along with him. He is basically what has surfaced so far, that he has sneaked in deep inside the Indian territory when he was apprehended and was taken to the police station Ramdas in the Amritsar rural jurisdiction in Amritsar district of Punjab. Now he is being questioned by the multiple agencies, including the Central Intelligence Agencies, to know his whereabouts. He has been sent to 2 days remand by the court, because there has been an FIR that stands registered by the Amritsar police with regards to him crossing into the Indian territory. And at this given time, when the situation is tense at the border and there lies every probability of a sabotage event attempt from across the border security force as well as Punjab police, they are maintaining a high level of alertness, and due to which this individual Hussain has been nabbed by the forces.
Right, Gursimran, thank you very much for sharing those details. Remains to be seen on what more revelations come out once the interrogation of this Pakistani national has been completed. We move on to the other stories that we are tracking. Viewers, the tension between India and Pakistan is only escalating with each passing day. Now, the borders have been fortified, and Republic is at every focal point at the borders to ensure that the border security forces have been there, and we are reporting every individual report from border areas, be it Arunachal Pradesh or Jaisalmer. Here is a report that has been filed by my colleague Soumya.
At the last edge of Indian territory, Republic reaches ground zero, where borders blur and danger lurks in the mountains. This is the reality near the Kairan border in Kupwara, a hotspot for terror infiltration and Pakistan's shadow war. We're reporting from the final village near Kairan, perched on the banks of the Kishanganga, a river that carries both water and war. For years, this village has faced the brunt of ceasefire violations, infiltration bids, and enemy shelling from across the line of control. Multiple BSF and army checkpoints now guard this high-risk zone, and the geography makes this no easy task.
Republic Today is reporting from a village which is very, very near to the Keren border. Now, the mountain ranges that this village is surrounded by, from here, the Keren village starts, and from here, the Keren border starts. Now, if we talk about the Keren village, it is the de facto border between India and the Pak-occupied Kashmir, situated on the banks of the Kishan Ganga River. Keren has emerged as a significant hotspot for cross-border terrorism attempts, primarily due to its geographical, tactical and historical attributes. As the visual shows here, viewers, the region's challenging terrain and of course the proximity to the LOC and of course the historical context make it a focal point for militant and terrorist activities, posing persistent security challenges for the Indian forces.
The rugged terrain and the close proximity to Pakistan's Neelam Valley have made this village a prime target in the enemy's infiltration blueprint. And that blueprint was activated again recently. A terrorist slipped through using the Keren route, entered the village and used a mosque as his hideout.
With an attempt to bring you a more clear picture of what happened today, we will be speaking to one of the locals here who was present here that day to give us a more clear picture of what had happened. सर, आप बता सकते हैं ये कितने टाइम पहले की बात है और ये कब हुआ था?
ये कुछ साल पहले की बात है। कुछ साल पहले की बात है कि यहाँ से एक मिलिटेंट, एक ही आदमी यहाँ से जुमीगंज और केरन के दरमियान से रास्ते से, शायद उसी रास्ते से आया, तो यहाँ मस्जिद के अंदर घुसा और यहाँ से आगे BSF और आर्मी सिक्योरिटी और टास्क फोर्स लगी हुई थी। तो बहुत समझाने के बाद वो बाज ना आया, तो बाद में एनकाउंटर उसका हो गया, तो उसको मार गिराया, तो बात ख़त्म हो गई।
ये जो ऑपरेशन चला था न्यूट्रलाइज करने का इस टेररिस्ट को, वो ऑपरेशन कितने देर तक चला था?
करीब 4 घंटे चला।
और ये आप थोड़ा रास्ता, एक क्लियर पिक्चर दे सकते हैं कि वो टेररिस्ट जो इधर इस विलेज में आया था, इस मस्जिद में रुका था, वो कौन सा रूट लेते हुए इधर आया था?
वो करीब क्योंकि ये बॉर्डर एरिया, क्योंकि मैं तो वहाँ पे खुद उसके साथ तो नहीं था, अलबत्ता ये अंदाज़ा लगा सकते हैं कि जुमीगंज और केरन के दरमियान से रास्ता इस्तेमाल करके काईवाली और पथरा और रामा 3, रामा 2 से होके तो यहाँ मस्जिद में घुसा था।
The moment intelligence came in, forces launched a swift operation.
Borders have been fortified and India has launched a diplomatic strike. India is very clear that it will not tolerate anybody who tries to invade our territory or spread terrorism in the country. We move on to the other breaking news that's coming in on this edition, where we learn that in a big boost to the Navy, the Indian Navy will receive a second Talwar class warship, that is Tamal, on or by May 28. Now, this will significantly boost the country's naval prowess and deterrence against the security threats. Zeenat, my colleague, is joining me live on the broadcast on that. Zeenat, it's a huge boost to the Indian Navy. The IAF is, of course, preparing itself. Now, this is a huge boost to the Indian Navy. What more details do you have on this?
See, after the escalation of tension between India and Pakistan, we have been seeing that India is showing its military might as well as its maritime, and where we see the preparedness is full time on as far as dealing with the Pakistan challenge is concerned. Recently, we have seen India has received a consignment from the Russia when it comes to shoulder-fired missiles, and now in the coming weeks, we will be expecting a consignment of Tamal that will be delivered to India on 28th. This will help in strengthening the naval base. This will strengthen the naval maritime for the India, and obviously the challenges between India and Pakistan. India will be coming heavily on Pakistan challenge, for which the preparations are on, whether it's the border front, whether it's the air, water, or the fighting with the jungle warfare. We have been seeing that the India is strengthening from each and every corner, be it the Russian missiles, or we see the naval strengthening the naval base with the maritime and all other things, that India is going to come heavily to Pakistan.
Absolutely, Zeenat. Thank you very much for getting those details. It is a huge boost to the Indian Navy. We move on to the other stories that we are getting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, borders have been fortified and there are also security arrangements that have been put into place at the forward areas along the line of control. Here's a report that my colleague Arawad brings to you.
We are here at the forward location of along the line of control area. We have seen the deadly terror attack. Thereafter, we have seen that the forces has updated their heightened security along the line of control areas. This is the entire the snow-covered area in the Kashmir Valley, and you can see that the alertness of the forces, and you can see that the how forces are taking their positions in the dense fog in the Kashmir Valley, and you can see that the alertness of the troopers here. You can see it's a bit challenging for the forces to do operation in these kind of challenging weather, but we have seen our forces are capable to deal with the every situation. And you can see, if my Vijay can pan camera to this side, and you can see there that the alertness of the troopers, and you can see the positions of these Jawans along the line of control area. And you can see that how these troopers are taking their positions after observing any suspicious activity along the line of control areas. Also, we have also been told to follow all the precautions here. Then after, you can see here how these Jawans are taking all the precautions, and also you can see the alertness of the troopers, as we have already told by the forces to take all the precautions. Then after report from here in the snow-covered areas, after crawling, these troopers in this snow-covered mountains will go towards from this side. And then after, we have already seen that the alertness of the forces, how the troopers are doing action here along the line of control, as we have been following all the protocols. Also, for the security reasons, we will not reveal the identification of this very location, as you can see that the forces alertness after the signal getting from the team. Also, we have seen that the go-ahead signal is getting by these troopers. Then after, these troopers are moving towards along the line of control, as we have seen that the intelligence agencies has sounded alert across the Jammu and Kashmir that there are some attempts by the terrorists to create the disturbance in the Kashmir Valley, but we have seen that the alertness of the forces, these kind of troopers are active in the plains of the Kashmir Valley, and not only in the plains but also in the very sensitive locations of the Kashmir Valley, where you can see the Firdaus is showing you the visuals that how these troopers are doing operation in the challenging winter conditions. If we'll talk about the ongoing operation, we have seen it's a bit difficult for the forces to create these kind of operations here in the Kashmir Valley. It's very much harsh, cold here. Every second here is very much critical because of the chilling winds, and also it's snowing here. But we have seen that the forces alertness, it indicates only one thing, that the forces are ready to take range of the deadly terror attack in the Pahalgam.
India has made it amply clear that our resolve is strong, that we will hunt every terrorist down who claimed the lives of 26 innocent civilians. This time it is Defence Minister Rajnath Singh that has reiterated that India will bring down every terrorist involved in the Pahalgam attack and give the terrorists and the terror backers a befitting reply. Listen in.
साथियों, एक रक्षा मंत्री के रूप में मेरा दायित्व है कि मैं अपने सैनिकों के साथ मिलकर देश की सीमाओं की सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करूं, और मेरा यह दायित्व है कि अपनी सेना के साथ मिलकर देश के ऊपर आंख उठाने वालों को मुंहतोड़ जवाब दूं। आप सभी हमारे प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को अच्छी तरह जानते हैं। मैं आपको आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जैसा आप चाहते हैं वैसा होकर रहे।
Now, at a time when India is going all out to fight and stand up strong against terrorism, it is the Congress party which is going all out against the armed forces. This time it is Ajay Rai, Rahul Gandhi's top leader, who has insulted the armed forces. Listen into what he said and later how he went on to give a bizarre clarification for that statement.
आप बड़ी बड़ी बात करने वाली सरकार जो आज कहती है कि हम सब मिट्टी में मिला देंगे सब कुछ इन लोगों को आतंकवादियों को, आप राफेल ले आए, नींबू मिर्च बांधकर खड़ी किए हुए हैं, जो लाए हैं उसका उपयोग कब होगा? कब आतंकवादियों का सफाया होगा? कब आतंकवाद को बढ़ावा देने वाले लोगों को सफाया करेंगे? नींबू मिर्ची मैंने नहीं लटकाया। आप देख सकते हैं कि ये पूरी तरीके से इनके रक्षा मंत्री जब वो राफेल लेने गए थे तब इन्होंने वो सारी बातें, ये देख सकते हैं कि ये तब का नींबू मिर्च वाला मामला है। ये रक्षा मंत्री जी ने लटकाया, मैंने नहीं लटकाया।
And that was all that we could pack in this edition of 6 Stories at 6. Thank you for watching. We will be back same time tomorrow. Coming up next is Live and Breaking.